All right, it's your boy Fanon. Welcome back to the channel. All right, man. So we're gonna continue on with this conversation about the big fight that took place this weekend with Devin the Dream Haney and Vasyl Lomachenko. There's a whole lot of crying going on, and you got two different type of people crying. You have one group of people crying because they think Vasyl Lomachenko really won the fight. And you got a different group of people crying about the people that are crying about the fight. As if two reasonable people cannot see the same thing, look at the same fight, and see it a different way. That is why you have three judges. Now, to highlight this, we have examples from the celebrity world. One is a famous sports commentator, Stephen A. Smith. And then you have a former world champion, Yordenis Ugas, who both share the same opinion, but get absolutely ripped from it for completely opposite reasons. The first of it was something that was really, really silly that Stephen A. Smith said, which was that this is a BS decision. Haney may have won, but it was barely. There should not have been a 112 scorecard, nor should there have been, and I'm correcting his English, or a 115 to 113 call. It was that close. Now, the second one was an issue where Yordenis Ugas, who was the former WBA super welterweight champion of the world, said that we all cry with Lomachenko tonight, right? Implying that he believed that Vasyl Lomachenko didn't get a decision that he should have gotten. Right now, before I get into what I think about it in detail, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you are new to the channel, please accept my invitation to hit the subscribe button and hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. And if you're a longtime subscriber and supporter of the channel, thank you so much. Greatly appreciated. And also thank you to everybody that supports in the Cash App and the live streams, in the videos that we do. It really does go a great way to continue to have the channel go. But look, man, this is what I think about it, because this is absolutely ridiculous. All right. And this happens a lot of times with fights that are good competitive fights where people don't like the outcome. In this particular instance, there are a lot of people that do not like the outcome of Devin Haney beating Vasyl Lomachenko. And it is not unreasonable for people to think that Vasyl Lomachenko won that fight. By the admission of almost everybody looking at it, the rounds were close. Many of the rounds were close. Some people say, well, Devin won it because he was throwing the body shots, and I don't score the pity-pat punches, face punches from Vasyl Lomachenko. Other people say Lomachenko was hitting him clean in the face with shots, and Devin Haney lost a considerable amount of rounds, right? So really and truly, you can look at two different things and say, you can look at the same thing, have two people look at it and come up with different conclusions. The thing that gets me, though, is all of these ridiculous personal attacks on people just because they don't agree with you about a boxing match. So you had people where the situation with Stephen A. Smith, that makes sense, where people would kind of clown him and say, look, man, what you're saying actually doesn't make sense when you're looking at how fights are scored. When you say the fight shouldn't have been 116-112 or 115-13, 115-113, it was that close. Well, look, man, you can only get a little bit closer than 115-113. If any closer to 115-113 is 114 and 114 as a draw, right? So if you had either one guy win, you're going to have at least the score of 115 to 113. The 116 to 112, that's a little bit wider. That's a little bit wider of a swing. but pretty much everybody thinks that the fight could be, depending on how you look at it, close. Now, make sure you listen to me when I'm saying this. I'm saying depending on what you're looking at, the fight could be close. However, depending on what you're looking at, you could think that one guy clearly won the fight and you think that the man could have been robbed. So if you are looking at it and you're saying, and you're looking at Devin Haney and you've got the mindset that Devin Haney, you like what Devin Haney's doing, and you could wind up liking the same thing multiple times, right? Multiple rounds in a row, and you wind up giving him multiple rounds in a row because you keep liking the same thing round after round after round. Where somebody else may look at Lomachenko and say, hey man, I like what he's doing. I like the clean. I'm not so impressed by body shots going halfway across, being landed at distance. I've heard people say stuff like, man, those are like, oh man, those are shovel hooks. Man, he was lifting Lomachenko off the ground. Man, please. That's no more real than people saying that Lomachenko almost knocked out Devin Haney with every punch he threw. It's just not realistic, conversation, man. But at the same time, I can completely understand why somebody would think that even though I don't agree with it, and the way that I look at it was, I have to give Devin Haney almost every round that was in question for me to score the fight for him, because I'm more impressed by clean and effective punches to the face where I can see the man's head snap back, because that lets me know that that is a clean and effective punch. I don't know how effective the punches from Devin to the body were, but you on the other side could say, no, I think those were clean and effective punches. So I'm going to score him. And I don't think that Devin's head snapping back. I just think that those are really tippy tap punches. And I don't really think that that's the whole subjective nature to the sport of boxing, man. But all of this craziness where people are just acting like it's my way or the highway. That's why you have 3 judges. And a lot of times the judges don't agree with each other, so that you can eliminate that fact that even where you have people that have criteria that is laid out right in front of them, that there's still a significant amount of subjectivity to it, and that scoring these fights are more of an art than it is a science. But anyway, man, Stephen A. Smith, though, on the other hand, hey, man, he just doesn't know how fights are scored, because you can't get any closer than 115, 113 other than scoring at a draw. But anyway, that's my take on the matter. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.